12,800 years ago, a cosmic impact triggered catastrophic climate change that ended the Ice Age in less than a decade. Sea levels rose 400 feet. Temperatures plunged, then spiked. Megafauna across 2 continents went extinct. And somewhere in southeastern Turkey, survivors began constructing the most advanced megalithic site ever discovered, encoding knowledge that wouldn't be matched for 7,000 years. At Göbekli Tepe, we're not looking at primitive hunter-gatherers. We're looking at sophisticated architects who moved 20-ton stones without metal tools, carved intricate iconography that tracks celestial events, and deliberately buried their masterpiece to preserve it. Ground-penetrating radar shows we've only excavated 5% of the site. What's still underground may rewrite human civilization's timeline. Modern archaeology claims civilization began with agriculture around 10,000 BCE. Göbekli Tepe was already ancient by then. Built during the Younger Dryas climate catastrophe when survival should have been the only priority. Yet these people marshaled resources to create astronomical observatories in stone. The question isn't whether they had advanced knowledge. The evidence proves they did. The question is where that knowledge came from. Before we dive in, comment below. Where in the world are you watching from? I want to know how far this evidence is reaching. Are you in Australia, Canada, the UK, the United States? Drop your location in the comments right now. The Younger Dryas impact hypothesis explains what mainstream archaeology can't. Between 12,800 and 11,600 years ago, global temperatures dropped 15 degrees Celsius in less than a generation. Ice cores from Greenland document the speed of this collapse. Sediment layers across North America contain a black mat rich in platinum, microspherules, and nanodiamonds, markers of cosmic impact. Geological evidence shows massive wildfires consume 10% of Earth's biomass. Whatever civilization existed before this event faced extinction-level conditions. Then, impossibly, construction began at Göbekli Tepe around 9,600 BCE, while ice sheets still covered much of the northern hemisphere. Klaus Schmidt, the site's lead archaeologist until his death in 2014, called it a cathedral built by hunter-gatherers. But the engineering precision tells a different story. Megalithic pillars weighing 10 to 20 tons were quarried, transported uphill, and erected in perfect circles. The limestone carvings depict animals with anatomical accuracy that rivals modern field guides. Pillar 43, the Vulture Stone, contains symbolic representations that researchers have decoded as a star map recording the comet impact itself. By 8000 BCE, Göbekli Tepe's builders had constructed at least 20 circular enclosures across 22 acres. Each structure required thousands of man-hours. The organizational capability alone suggests hierarchical society, specialized labor, and surplus food production. Yet no evidence of permanent settlement exists at the site. No houses, no trash heaps, no signs of daily life. People came to Göbekli Tepe for a specific purpose, then returned to communities we haven't found. If this evidence is challenging what you learned in school, hit the like button right now. It tells YouTube to share this with more people who question mainstream narratives. The preservation method reveals intentional knowledge transfer. Around 8000 BCE, the builders filled every enclosure with debris and soil, carefully burying structures that took generations to build. This wasn't destruction or abandonment. Archaeological analysis shows deliberate, systematic backfilling. They created a time capsule. Ground-penetrating radar and magnetometry surveys reveal 16 additional megalithic rings still underground, untouched for 10,000 years. Whatever information they encoded in those stones remains protected, waiting. The iconography connects directly to the cataclysm. Pillar 43's symbolism has been analyzed by researchers at the University of Edinburgh's School of Engineering. The carved animals correspond to constellations. A scorpion represents Scorpius, a vulture represents Sagittarius. At the center, a headless human figure marks the summer solstice position around 10,950 BCE. Above, a circular symbol with internal marks matches descriptions of a fragmenting comet. The builders weren't creating art. They were recording the astronomical configuration during the Younger Dryas impact event with precision that wouldn't be matched until the development of modern astronomy. Other pillars show animals that shouldn't exist in southeastern Turkey's climate during this period. African fauna carved with detail suggesting first-hand observation. Maritime creatures despite the site being 700 miles from the nearest coast. Either these builders traveled vast distances, or they inherited knowledge from people who did. The second option explains why construction began immediately after a global catastrophe. Survivors with advanced astronomical and engineering knowledge chose this location to rebuild and preserve what they knew. Mainstream archaeology struggles with Göbekli Tepe's implications. If sophisticated megalithic construction existed 11,600 years ago, what came before? The site's astronomical precision suggests inherited knowledge of celestial mechanics, geometry, and long-term observation. These aren't skills developed by people focused solely on survival during an ice age. They're evidence of cultural continuity from an earlier, more stable period. The engineering capabilities present another problem for conventional timelines. Moving 20-ton limestone pillars without wheels, metal tools, or draft animals requires advanced understanding of leverage, friction, and material stress. Experimental archaeology has attempted to replicate the transport methods using only Neolithic technology. The results show it's possible, but barely, and requires massive coordinated labor. We're talking hundreds of people working in synchronized teams with sophisticated rope systems and wooden rollers. This level of organization doesn't appear spontaneously among scattered hunter-gatherer bands struggling through climate catastrophe. The quarry site reveals even more. Unfinished pillars still attached to bedrock show the extraction technique. Workers carved narrow channels around each megalith, then used wooden wedges and controlled fracturing to separate stone from substrate. Precision cuts indicate knowledge of limestone's cleavage planes and stress distribution. One unfinished pillar measures 23 feet long and would have weighed approximately 50 tons. They were attempting increasingly ambitious projects before the site was buried. Göbekli Tepe isn't isolated. Karahan Tepe, discovered 35 miles away, shows similar megalithic construction from the same period. Boncuklu Tarla, another contemporary site, contains T-shaped pillars and symbolic carvings. Nevali Chori, excavated before being flooded by dam construction, revealed structures nearly identical to Göbekli Tepe's oldest layers. We're looking at a regional culture with shared architectural traditions, religious symbolism, and technical capabilities. This isn't one anomalous site. It's evidence of a widespread post-cataclysm civilization rebuilding across southeastern Anatolia. Pause and comment your answer. Do you think Göbekli Tepe's builders inherited knowledge from a pre-Younger Dryas civilization? Comment 1 if you think they're survivors preserving lost knowledge, or 2 if you think they independently developed these capabilities. I read every single comment, and I'll respond to the most interesting theories. The timeline compression creates the real mystery. Conventional archaeology places the agricultural revolution around 10,000 BCE, with permanent settlements developing gradually over millennia. Göbekli Tepe reverses that sequence. Monumental architecture came first, then settlement, then agriculture. The site predates pottery, metallurgy, writing, and the wheel by thousands of years. Yet the astronomical knowledge encoded in Pillar 43 wouldn't be rediscovered until Babylonian astronomy around 1800 BCE, 8,000 years later. Could Younger Dryas survivors have possessed this knowledge? We know pre-impact humans had reached every continent except Antarctica. They created sophisticated cave art in France and Spain, showing detailed animal anatomy and possible astronomical markers. They navigated open ocean to reach Australia 65,000 years ago. They hunted megafauna using coordinated tactics that required communication and planning. If coastal civilizations existed during the Ice Age when sea levels were 400 feet lower, the Younger Dryas flooding would have erased nearly all evidence. Only inland survivors at elevation would have escaped. Göbekli Tepe sits at 2,500 feet elevation, safely above any flood scenario. The location offers clear views of the horizon for astronomical observation. Local limestone provided building material. The choice of this specific site suggests intentional selection based on multiple criteria, including safety, resources, and visibility. These weren't refugees making desperate survival decisions. They were planners with long-term objectives and specific technical requirements. The deliberate burial becomes the key to preservation intent. Between 8,000 and 8,500 BCE, after 1,000 to 1,500 years of active use, every structure was carefully filled and covered. Why preserve something you're abandoning? The only logical explanation is that the builders knew future generations would excavate these stones. They created a message that would survive millennia of climate change, cultural upheaval, and technological loss. The information they encoded in astronomical symbolism, architectural precision, and iconographic detail was considered critical enough to warrant this massive preservation effort. The evidence raises profound questions about human history's continuity. If advanced knowledge existed 12,000 years ago, was lost, then slowly rediscovered, how many other cycles occurred before that? What other sites remain buried under 400 feet of ocean along ancient coastlines? How much of what we call the dawn of civilization was actually reconstruction of capabilities that existed before the Younger Dryas catastrophe? Current archaeology has excavated roughly 5% of Göbekli Tepe. 16 more circular structures remain underground, potentially containing more astronomical data, more symbolic records, more evidence of sophisticated knowledge. Each excavation season reveals details that challenge conventional timelines. The site demands we reconsider not just when civilization began, but what civilization means and whether our current understanding of human cultural evolution captures the full story. If you found this evidence compelling, subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel examines archaeological anomalies that mainstream science struggles to explain, always focusing on measurable evidence and peer-reviewed research. Comment below with your theories about what remains buried at Göbekli Tepe.